Hi, biology superstars! I wanted to do a quick video to explain how the IB calculates your 1 to 7 IB grade because I've been getting some questions from my HL students about this. So let's get started. All right, there's 3 assessments that you're going to do for your IB grade. They are your internal assessment, which is a lab, your paper 1, which is multiple choice and database questions, and your paper 2, which is database, short response, and long response questions. The internal assessment is a lab report that you've already handed in by now, and if you haven't, run, do not walk to your biology teacher to ask them about that. And this is graded out of a raw score of 24 points for both SL and HL. And it's actually worth noting the IB does not know if you are in SL or HL biology when they grade your internal assessment. That score is converted to an amount of points that represents 20% of your IB grade. Your paper 1 is out of 55 points if you're in SL, 75 points if you're in HL. That's worth 36% of your grade. And your paper 2 is out of 50 points if you're in SL, 80 points if you're in HL, and that's worth 44% of your IB grade. So in order to calculate your actual IB grade, these percentage values are important. Let's do a little example. What the IB does is set up proportions for each component of your grade. So let's say, for example, you get a 17 out of 24 on your IA. They use a proportion to convert that to a number of points out of 20. So you would do 17 times 20 divided by 24 to get the correct proportion number. I'm going to do it right now. 17 times 20 divided by 24 means that this would give you 14 out of 20 possible points on this component of your grade. So let's go back and write it in so I don't forget. It's actually 14.16, and really 14.167, which we'll get to in a second. So that is the number of points that you've received for your IA. Your paper 1, they do the same thing. Obviously, the number of points they're calculating out of is different if you're in SL or HL. They actually break it down into a paper 1A, paper 1B score, but the overall number would be, I'm going to do like an HL example. The overall number would be out of a possible total of 36 points. So let's say out of these 75 points, you get 50. 50 out of 75 is equal to a certain proportion of points out of 36. And when you do the math to solve for x in the proportion, you get 50 times 36 divided by 75, 24, which makes sense because it's 2/3. So that's your paper 1. And in the paper 2, we'll stay with HL. Let's say you get 56 out of those 80 possible points. So 56 over 80 is equal to x over 44. And 44. And when you do the math, 56 times 44 divided by 80 is 30.8. You would then add together these 3 values, the ones I'm going to actually go in and circle them. So you would add together the number of points from the IA component, the number of points from the paper 1 component, and the number of points from the paper 2 component. When you do that, you 14.167, 67, plus 24 plus 30.8 is equal to 68.96. And I have been telling my students for a long time that the IB does not round, but I think that that is not true. I think that when I was looking over some of the score information that they release, it seems like they do round. So this would be rounded up. So if you're in my class, sorry, but good news for you. If you're in my class and I've been telling you that wrong, I apologize. This would round up to 69 out of 100 possible points. The IB then releases the grade bounds for every year. So normally the 7 starts around a 79. I would imagine this would be in the 6 category. They will also give you an individual component 1 to 7 score for each piece of your assessments, but it doesn't really matter if what you're after is your overall 1 to 7 score and your IB diploma. So I know that can all be a little bit confusing, and I thought it would be helpful to go over it. The real thing to keep in mind, though, is just do the best you can on every component of the assessment because they all count for something. Stay calm, write lots of information on your exams, and good luck on your test.